Now, why don't we talk about solutions? We talk about problems a lot. Let's talk solutions. Last week, we got an email from a self-proclaimed longtime viewer of the story, Doug Marshall. And Doug wrote in to tell us that he didn't really like the way we were covering Portland's homeless crisis. He said this: "The impression you left your viewers with is that the homeless crisis is unsolvable. My point is your focus was on a meaningless attempt for solving the homeless crisis. And when you do that, it leads to despair among your viewers." But Doug says that Portland's homeless crisis is solvable. We just haven't focused on the right solutions, in his opinion. So we reached out to Doug and his wife, who are board members of Hope for the Homeless. It's a nonprofit that focuses on vetting organizations that help the homeless in Portland and provides them with grants to continue their missions. They specifically look for groups that help find transitional or permanent housing and tackle the underlying causes of homelessness. They call this holistic advocacy.
Of all the organizations we have identified so far that help the homeless in the Portland area, which totals 325, the vast majority are under what you would call compassionate care. And we need to be compassionate towards the homeless. They provide, food, clothing, medical attention, things of that sort. And all of those things are necessary, but they don't help those to get off the street. They just help them feel more comfortable living on the street.
Now, last year, Hope for Homeless raised $100,000 for 4 nonprofits, but they don't hand out money to just anybody. There's a lot that goes into the application process. The vetting team requires an annual budget, financial statements, and a clear success rate of getting people off the streets for good. They even perform on-site visits to make sure that residents are being treated well.
Not everybody who applies for help is ready to do the work it takes. And so we look for organizations that really, focus in on people who they can successfully bring off the street.
Doug and Carol found in their research that only 15% of organizations in Portland focus on this holistic advocacy, that 24% focus on restorative services with no housing assistance at all, 51% focus on compassionate care, and that means providing clothes and medical assistance. But Hope for the Homeless, they want to go beyond that.
It is a huge problem. We have the homeless crisis is huge, but it is solvable. And it's solvable by finding those organizations that are actually doing good work. They're following this business model that we've just discussed, and they're actually getting people off the street.
And that's the point, isn't it? To find ways to keep people off the street, put them on a path to stability, not just moving them from street to street, sidewalk to sidewalk, park to park. Hope for the Homeless plans on donating to 4 more organizations this year, and they hope to raise $200,000.